Hi, welcome to the YT University. And today we're going to talk about what would happen if the world lost oxygen for 5 seconds. Oxygen is essential for life. So you might think that 5 seconds without it wouldn't be a big deal, but in reality, a lot of things would happen in those 5 seconds. Internal combustion engines would stall. Untreated metal would instantly spot weld together. The ozone layer would disappear. The sky would get darker. And the Earth's crust would start to crumble. So, what would happen if the world lost oxygen for 5 seconds? In short, it would be a disaster. Oxygen is essential for life. It's what we breathe in. And it's what allows our cells to function. So what would happen if all of the oxygen on Earth suddenly disappeared? Well, for starters, we wouldn't notice anything at first. We can hold our breath for about 30 seconds. So 5 seconds wouldn't be long enough for us to start suffocating. But in those 5 seconds, a lot of other things would happen. Internal combustion engines would stall. This includes cars, trucks, airplanes, and even lawnmowers. That's because oxygen is essential for combustion. So without it, engines would simply stop working. All untreated metal would instantly spot weld together. This is because oxygen acts as a binding agent in metal. Without oxygen, the metal would be unable to oxidize, and the molecules would simply stick together. The ozone layer would disappear. The ozone layer is a layer of gas in the Earth's atmosphere that protects us from harmful ultraviolet radiation from the sun. Without the ozone layer, we would be exposed to much higher levels of UV radiation, which could cause skin cancer and other health problems. The sky would get darker. This is because oxygen molecules scatter sunlight. So without them, the sky would appear darker. The Earth's crust would start to crumble. This is because oxygen is a major component of the Earth's crust. Without it, the crust would become unstable and start to break apart. So, what would happen if the world lost oxygen for 5 seconds? In short, it would be a disaster. We would lose our transportation, our metal structures, our protection from the sun, and even the ground beneath our feet. Of course, this is all hypothetical. It's not possible for all of the oxygen on Earth to disappear instantly, but it's a thought-provoking scenario that helps us to appreciate just how important oxygen is for life on Earth. Here are some additional details. The effects of oxygen loss would be felt most severely in areas with high population densities. The loss of oxygen would also have a devastating impact on the environment. Plants would die, animals would starve, and the entire food chain would be disrupted. The long-term effects of oxygen loss are difficult to predict, but it's possible that the Earth could become uninhabitable. The loss of oxygen would have a cascading effect on our society. Without transportation, people would be unable to get to work or school. Without metal structures, buildings would collapse and bridges would fall. Without the ozone layer, we would be exposed to harmful UV radiation that could cause cancer and other health problems. And without the Earth's crust, the ground would become unstable and we would be at risk of earthquakes and landslides. This is a sobering thought, but it's important to remember that oxygen loss is a real possibility. We need to take care of our planet and protect our environment so that we don't have to live through this nightmare scenario. Here are some additional thoughts that you could include in your information. The loss of oxygen would be a global catastrophe, with no one being spared. The only way to prevent this from happening is to take action to protect our environment. We need to reduce our reliance on fossil fuels, invest in renewable energy, and protect our forests. We also need to change our lifestyles to be more sustainable. Thanks for watching. I hope you learned something new today. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, and subscribe to my channel for more science content. In the comments below, let me know what you think would happen if the world lost oxygen for 5 seconds. Would you be prepared for such an event?